Today we're going to be talking about RSI, the Relative Strength Index, and how you can use this powerful tool to help you with your trading. It'll really give you a good insight on what's happening with the stock that you might be looking at. Also, it will give you a really good idea when to get into a trade and when to get out. So I have Thinkorswim up. These are the indicators I typically set up. I have the VWAP here in yellow. In white here I have the 20 exponential moving average, and I have the 8 exponential moving here in green. These are just lines of resistance that I've seen over the past that seem to be coming into play again. But again, we're looking down here at the bottom. This is the RSI, Relative Strength Index. And once your parameters are set at 70 and 30 on the low, this is a typical range that a stock is going to be trading at. So it gives you an idea of what's happening. So once it starts getting close to the 70 mark, you're going to see that that's typically when it'll show you when the stock is oversold, meaning there's so many buyers it's going to be shifting to the other direction shortly. And then you can just watch what happens here, and it does, and it's chopping around. And as we go down the line here, I like what Thinkorswim does. They actually give you a color that pops up when it's going below the 30 or above the 70. As you can see here, this is on the 5-minute chart of Tesla, and what we see is just this gradual downward progression. You see this? And then we start seeing it getting blue here, meaning it's getting very close to being oversold. And sure enough, once it gets to this range right here, at this candle here, it starts going the other way. And what I see also is when I start seeing a shift in these bands between the 9 and the 20 starting to get a little tight. That also is some confirmation also. And also, I look at the candle. What do we have here? We have an inside candle, and then here we go. The next one is going to the positive side, and then the rest of the day kind of just went up, and it just tailed off during the last few minutes of trading. We can use this on any time frame. If you're a scalper, then you're going to do it on the 1 minute or the 2 minute. Let's go to the 2 minute and see what that looks like. All right, this was actually today. Okay, so it started off, Tesla started off, and then it kind of the bears were in place for a little while. They were selling out, and sure enough, what does your RSI tell you? You see this drastic move to the downside, and it didn't stop or bounce off that 30. It just kept going, and it kind of just went along there and kind of just getting his breath to try to get back up again. And sure enough, what we saw here was a good little trade right here, and your indication was right there. Also, the candle had crossed below and closed below. This candle here closed below the VWAP, which is another signal that tells you the stock's going to start going the other way. And it sure enough did. And of course, with the 20 on top of the 8, that shows another downhill progression. And then finally, we get to this candle here at this point it would be my 708 because I'm in the Pacific. And what ends up happening is it kind of just trails up, and you can see the RSI kind of follows exactly what your candles are doing. Again, this is an excellent tool you can use to just set up and just watch it, back test it, forward test it, however you want to test it. And see here, it gives you a little red signal here that it's starting to get oversold. Sure enough, because we're getting close to that VWAP, and it's kind of showing you it's going to have to break through and finish above and go in that direction above the VWAP to be a real mover to the bull side. And it sure enough did, didn't it? Boom. And then green crosses white, 8 crosses a 20, another sign, another signal that it's going in the up direction. Let's look at a longer time frame, let's say 30 minutes, for example. We look at this, and what do we see? Okay, again, the start of the day from pre-market going down below 30. It kind of hugs under that 30 mark until we get to about 9:30 Pacific, and things crossed. It crossed the bottom 30 on the RSI and started going up. So we didn't see like a huge breakout or anything like that. For the day it started, what, at 173.96, 173 and some change, and it went down and was just hugging that point of resistance at that line that I had here, and it never broke below that. It tried twice, but it didn't get below, and then it just repelled, and went north. But we can see it wasn't such a huge move. It was just 67 to 70, about a $3 move. Not that big of a move, but still, you could have made some money on that turnaround right there. Again, looking at the RSI, you see the blue color. That tells you it's oversold, and you wait for that confirmation to where it's going the other way. Here's your bottom candle. Here's your next candle. Closes above the previous inside candle and takes off. That would have been your signal right there to go in. All right, so this RSI is an excellent tool again to use and put it in your toolbox, help you trade, and it definitely has given me a clearer picture of exactly the psychology of the market, and that's what you need to be aware of, the psychology of the market. That's what the charts show us. So guys out there, use this. Just include it in what you're using. If you're successful, it's going to help you greater, and if you're just starting, this is a good tool to use and to practice and back test, and you can see that there are some really good advantages to using the RSI. Thank you guys.